here, and then we'll go. Hey guys, what is up? Welcome to episode 0 of HexTCGPro cast, which is we're actually gonna start Oh my gosh, you have the 0 can, Sean! You like it? That was all planned, by the way. We waiting for like 6 months to do that. We're like, all right. Local record. Yeah, this will finally we can start putting numbers to these things. So yeah, this is episode 0. Our first episode will start whenever Alpha is actually released, which is next week. So that's pretty cool. All we're going to do this time today is just talk about all the new cards. There's like what, like 11 cards or 12 cards we have to talk about right now?
I think there's 11 preview cards, maybe somewhere around 11. Yeah, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a bunch of them. So that's cool, guys. Before we get started, too, I want to make a special shout out to Cryptozoic for hooking us up for the 2 preview cards. We really appreciate that, guys. Thank you so much. It's awesome to know that they are supporting these fan sites, and giving us some cool content. So appreciate it. Our 2 cards were awesome, by the way. I still think we got one of the best cards before we even get into the nitty gritty of it. Also have John Tana with me, like always, and old Sean Corral with me.
Close enough.
All right, guys. So, John, what card? You want to talk about our preview cards first?
Sure.
It's like we're making history here with the first numbered episode. We are making history, man, and you all are part of it.
Yep.
Cool. All right, we'll go ahead and do our. We'll start with the whatever the thing is called. What was the little crap, the milling guy? What was he called?
Eye of Oblivion.
We'll start with Eye of Oblivion then.
Sure.
Let's pop him out. Eye of the Oblivion. Get some. Alright, Eye of the Oblivion is a 2-drop, 1 blue threshold, 1/1 with flight that says if this troop would deal damage to an opposing champion, that champion buries that many cards from the top of their deck instead. While there are 10 or more cards in opposing graveyards, this troop gets +4/+4. So,
yep.
John, we'll start with you. We'll let Sean go next, and I'll go last. So, what do you think, John?
This card is, I think it's pretty good. It takes a little bit of work for it to, really get active and going. But, I think that there's a lot of cards that work well with this one. For example, there's the new Red Legendary that we'll talk about later. It kind of works, pretty well with this. There's ways to mill your opponent via Chronic Madness. It's pretty sweet with cards like Sabotage. There's a few ways to make this guy good. I think ultimately he may end up just being like a limited only card. He's a pretty big bomb in draft and sealed formats, but for constructed formats he might be a little lacking. But time will tell. I wouldn't be too surprised to see him pop up in some pretty like good standard decks. So we'll see.
Sean, what is your take on the old one-eyed weirdo looking thing?
Well, actually, I think I might be a little bit more suited for constructed than limited myself. I really think it would actually make a Chronic Madness deck actually viable, for one. And I actually would not mind trying that out. Limited, he'll definitely be good, but he's very easy to just shut down. Like, he actually does not get much bigger until you actually get 10 cards in the graveyard.
Sure. Well, like Dusty said, too, 10 yards in the graveyard is a little bit easier than what you think, I think. Like, it's, probably not too uncommon. And at least it makes them good for late game too. You know what I mean? Like at least you're not going to draw them on like turn 7 or something and be like, ah, shit, this 1/1's kind of bad. So
yeah, he'll definitely be a great top deck card. I will say that.
Yeah. Well, my opinion on him is that he is a mill card, and I don't like milling. I've never been a fan of milling because I haven't played card games long enough to played at a time period where you actually can ever get milled. Like, to me, it's always like, it's either what really slow control decks do to win because the format sucks, or I've never been around when it's actually been a thing. Every time I've played a card game, it's always the biggest JMO sets down and tries to mill you with a bunch of bad cards. So, but I think this is an interesting take on it, and I think it's cool that they're starting to put this effect on creatures. Like, I think it's maybe towards the right step. Also, like Master Fed, Shad said in chat, Reginald, the new card that we'll get to, is also kind of, I guess, helps out mill strategies. Because really, like you said, Tata, mill is really just trying to do 60 damage instead of doing 20, which is kind of silly, you know what I mean?
Well, traditionally, in Magic, for example, mill decks have been more combo decks than anything else. There really hasn't been a good, dedicated mill you for 60 deck just with a few cards. Like, there's been mill decks. For example, there's a card called Sanity Grinding. If you want to look it up, that was a really good like combo mill deck. There's also been the old like Howling Mind decks. Like Cerebral Fulminations, for example, in hex terms, that would punish you for having multiple cards in your hand, things like that. So, the actual just mill your opponent for 60 might not be viable, but it could be viable to play cards like Sabotage and Reginald and mill your opponent that way to kind of combo them more or less.
Yeah, because Sabotage works no matter where it's revealed, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's cool. I mean, that's my take on it. I'm not really familiar with the mill strategies. The only like I said before, the only time I've played, they've just been terrible. But I think this is definitely a more interesting card than like the Chronic Madness or whatever, which is just I think not a very good way to mill. So okay, so moving on to our last preview card that we've had, which was Gearsmith, which dare I say might be the best preview card. I think he's cool. I know El Tata's going to disagree, but I think he's...
No, like, I don't disagree.
Sure.
Now, Hop Hero is, like, my favorite card, just for flavor-wise, and the art's awesome.
He's a bunny samurai? Like, that's right down my alley, son.
Like, out of all the cards we've seen so far, though, I think that Gearsmith is the best one for constructed deck purposes. I understand that he only fits into one deck, but he is a automatic 4 of in any like artifact deck. Any deck that you want to play Volcanon in, like he will be a 4 of.
No, I agree. I think he's probably out of all the cards we've seen so far, through the website previews. I think he's for sure going to be a staple for the deck that he goes in. Like, okay, so I'll real quick explain what it is, then we'll let John and Sean take it over. Gearsmith is a 1-drop, 1 blue threshold, 1/1 that says when this troop enters play, look at the top 3 cards of your deck. You may put an artifact from among them into your hand. If you do, it gets permanent cost -1. Put the remaining cards on the bottom of the deck in a random order.
Right. So,
go ahead.
No, so this guy, like I was saying, he only fits into one deck, it's the Dwarf Artifact deck, which is perfectly fine because he is really powerful. The reason for that is because the way that you're going to kill an opponent the majority of the time in the Dwarf deck is either with Terrabot or with Volcanon. So most of the time, even both of them. So what Gearsmith does is he helps you find those 2 cards. It also gives you a lot of flexibility to not play 4 of like all the artifacts because you can find them much faster.
Sure.
In Magic, there's a card called Augur Bolus that was a very similar effect, and a lot of decks, what they were doing would be playing like a bunch of 1 of and 2 of instants and sorceries, so they can find it with their Augur Bolus and then cast them later in the game. Now there were other reasons for playing 1 of, for example, Snapcaster Mage, but they were using Augur to find their 1 ofs. So this guy is going to serve the same purpose. So you could play like a 1 of like Argus for example, and try to find it with Gearsmith early on. You could play 1 of a few other cards, but he's really gone to enable some pretty sweet artifact decks, and I'm super excited to hop into alpha and play with this guy like almost immediately.
No, I agree. I think that the coolest thing about this guy is that Cryptozoic keeps doing this, and it's that they take a common Magic ability and make it their own. And I think giving the card -1 cost is a really cool way to kind of change that ponder effect a little bit. You know what I mean? Like it's really cool.
Yeah, like if you get sorry to stop Sean from talking here real quick, but if you get like a really good Dwarf draw deck. Now Okay, so it's not even really like a nut draw per se, but if you start off with like, Gearsmith turn 1, find like a Terabot, and then turn 2 play the Technical Genius, like you're looking at a turn 3 3/4 flyer and still having a resource open because you can use your charge power for like another artifact. So a 2-cost 3/4 flyer and you can still play a 1-drop like on turn 3. Like that is insane. Plus, or you can find Volcanon and play a turn 3 Volcanon and start Volcaning your opponent on turn 3. Like, I don't see how you could possibly lose, like, when you get draws like that.
And we still haven't, I mean, of course, these are probably going to be the cards we'll see once we move into Alpha. Hopefully they release the full spoiler soon. But, like, we still haven't seen that, like, any, like, dedicated hate for, like, artifacts or constants or any kind of, way to get rid of that Volcanon. So far, right now, as of episode 0, there is no way to get rid of the Volcanon once you play it. So.
Well, I mean, there are very few ways. I mean, there's Chaos Key. There's very few ways to interact with it.
What I mean was there was no card that says destroy target artifact.
Right. There's no shatter effect. Right.
Just Chaos Key and Argus. I think are the only two that can actually deal with it.
And I guess you could. What's the white, like exile everything basically, whatever the hell it's called.
Yeah. Judgment.
Yeah. Time Ripple. Is Time Ripple anything? It's not just creature.
Well, no. Time Ripple is bounce like anything, but it does just bounce it, so like doesn't really like do that much. But yes, I mean there is Time Ripple.
Cool. Sean, what do you think of the Gearsmith?
I actually really love him for the artifact deck, like everything that John's already said, but like the fact that it actually gives it the -1 cost to it makes it so much better than what Augur Bolus could do. It still lets you play like 1-ups and 2-ups. It lets you dig for the artifacts you need, and you bring them down a turn earlier than expected.
Sure.
Like just, all in all, just tons of value out of this card.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, there's not much I can add, that hasn't already been said, other than, like I said before, I just like the ability that they kind of made it their own, you know what I mean? They made it a little bit different, brought it into that digital space to give it something new, and I think it's going to be a very powerful thing.
Yeah, there's also, like, some neat tricks that you can do with them, with cards like Heavy Welding Bot, for example. Like, Heavy Welding Bot lets you get an artifact back from the graveyard that costs 1 or less, and Gearsmith can make 2-cost artifacts cost 1. If you hit them. So if you want to get something back from your graveyard that costs 2, like you actually can with that sort of trick.
Yeah, that's true. I never thought about that. That's true because it is permanent.
Yeah, it's permanent.
Yeah, cool. All right, guys, we'll move on to our next crowd. I'm just gonna randomly bring them up, no rhyme or reason. Also, guys. Some of these cards, I'm not sure where they came from because I just got them off the database. I'm going to try my best to figure out, or hopefully you guys know what website they came from, because I really want to include those websites because I feel like growing the community as a whole was very important. So if I don't know the website it came from, I am so sorry. It is not my intention to shit on you. So I hope I don't. All right, let's start out with old Reginald here because I think I know where he came from. So we'll start with Reginald. He came from the Threshold podcast, right?
Yeah. I don't know, man. Like, I really don't know where these...
I think this is Threshold.
This is Threshold. Okay. So if you guys haven't checked them out, please go check out Threshold. I haven't listened to their cast, but from what I hear, they're very good. Okay, so 3-drop, 1 Ruby Threshold, 3/3 Human Rogue. Human Rouge. When Reginald deals damage to an opposing champion, shuffle him into their deck, and he gains permanent when Reginald enters your hand or graveyard. He destroys you, which I love, by the way. Like, I remember when you showed me this on Facebook, I was like, he destroys you.
Yeah.
Seems pretty good.
Then, what's that mean?
Yeah, what does that mean? Then each champion draws 3 cards. Yeah. So it's really important. The first thing I want to clarify about this is it's really important to realize that you draw the 3 cards as you shuffle him into your opponent's deck, not after you won the game. When I first read him, I was like, why the fuck would you draw 3 cards? That doesn't make any sense. But you do actually shuffle him in, then you make each opponent draw 3 cards.
Yeah.
To maybe get destroyed.
Each player draws 3 cards, so like you also draws 3.
Yeah.
Great.
John, take it away.
So this guy, he's another card that's really awesome, like flavor-wise. This is a very flavorful card, and it's a really sweet Princess Bride reference, and I love it. And but the card, unfortunately, when I first saw it, I was like, man, this card is awesome. Like, let's start building decks around them right now. But the more and more that I think about it, the more and more that I realize that this guy really isn't that good. He has a really powerful effect. Don't get me wrong. Like, hey, you win the game, but there's a lot of factors, a lot of things you have to factor in before you can actually do that. For one, he has to actually hit your opponent. So a 3/3 with no evasion for 3 resources, you're going to have a hard time hitting your opponent with them most of the time. And then second of all, your opponent actually has to draw him, or you have to mill him. And to do that, you either have to be playing bad mill cards in a deck that has like a bunch of creatures, or you have to get really lucky. So, on the forums, I think this guy has gotten like 3 pages worth of comments, and a lot of people, I think, had the same first reaction that I did. But instead of really, thinking about it, they just, started, writing about it.
Yeah, which is what happens in like card games just to begin with, right?
Sure. Yeah.
I know every new Magic set, the 4 Horsemen pages or whatever, always like, look at this card, it's so broken. And it's like, whoa, bro, like this is the 4th card of the set, like you don't know, like, but everybody always just kind of blows up when they see cards that seem powerful. Like
yeah, I mean, there was a few people that were saying like it should just be like on the ban list. Like, guys, like calm down. Like, the sky is not falling. The sky is not broken. Like,
no, did someone really say it should be banned?
Yeah.
You're lying.
No, I'm serious.
Okay, Sean, find that post, please.
It's on the Hex forums. So
unbelievable. That's actually unbelievable. I can't believe it. This might be the Buccaneers'
but
brother.
It's very, very, very situational, and like I'm telling you, guys, please relax.
Yes,
like the card
sure doesn't need to be
will
bad.
probably barely be played. So I could be wrong. Like I am.
Of course, he won't be played.
Sometimes wrong. But
he's banned. He'll be banned before we get to play it.
Like I don't think that he's that good.
There it is.
Did you find it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's unbelievable. That's actually unbelievable. I can't like, guys. Okay, like real quick, it is way too early to even mention the word ban. And like, I want to be like really clear, really frank right here. Buccaneer will be banned before this guy. Like, the Gearsmith will be banned before this guy. Like, there is absolutely no way that this fucking 3/3 guy who has like 6 different factors happening before you win the game will get banned unless they print cards that are just like ridiculously, like, you know what I mean? Like, this card won't get banned in a vacuum with just him. Like, sure, they might print a card that's like 0 cost, instant speed, choose a creature out of your opponent's deck and they have to draw it or something. Like, sure, then that might be OP, but like
in my opinion, the best part about this card is the part that you can actually control, which is drawing 3 cards.
Thank you.
Like,
yes.
Like, everything else about him is super random. And
oh my gosh, I can't believe it.
Just,
I don't know who said that he should be banned, but they should be banned.
Well, it's just like a knee-jerk reaction. I mean, I can't blame him for thinking that, but like people, you really have to like think things through, before you're like, oh my god, this guy's way too good for this game. Like, sure, he seems that way, but if you look at the cards that are already previewed and ways to deal with him, like, he's a very mediocre card.
Yeah, Sinclair. Okay, Sinclair, real quick. They are actually going to have a ban list, and they are not doing any nerfs or buffs of a card. Yeah, but they're actually not going to change the card. If you checked our interview with Corey, we had a little bit of discussion about this, and the short. I know. Listen, I had the same reaction you did, and I talked to Corey. I was like, Corey, the fuck, and he's like, well, they don't want to have like the Blizzard effect where it's like, Reginald has plus 1 health and -1 attack. And then like the two like weeks later, like +2 attack and -1 health. Like, you know what I mean? They don't want to keep like that up and down, that like scale. They just want to, if it's too powerful, ban it. If not, keep it the way it is. I think they think that's simpler, and it's not as devastating to players, which is
yeah. And you also have to keep in mind that the people making this game are like very well-known and well-respected card players. So like the chances of them making a card that slips through that is way overpowered and should be banned is slim. But if he said, if they have to, mistakes do happen, like,
sure,
they'll just end up banning it, and they won't actually like change it, even though it's a digital game.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and like that's kind of like, I wish I could show you guys. I mean, I could, but I don't really want to get into it with the link to the show and stuff. But like, Hearthstone just released their first balance changes, the first beta balance changes, and they're ridiculous. Like, they went through a bunch of cards and like changed one health here, one attack here, and it's not really going to matter. Like, those OP cards are still OP because it's really just a fundamental of a lot of those decks and champions are just OP, so that they really can't change a lot of it. So. I mean, the same thing, like, even with, like, you know, any, like, computer game, too, like StarCraft or those games, you know, like, they're always just changing, like, every time you change one card, it makes another card OP or another strategy OP, if you're familiar with how a meta works. So, like, I can kind of see what he was trying to say, that he doesn't want to get in this, like, this spirally, like, weird thing where it's like, I change a card, now these 3 cards are OP, change one of those cards, now these other 5 are OP, you know, this really weird situation, so... Sean, anything to talk about with old Reginald here?
Well, yeah. Just gotta agree that I do not see him doing too well in the constructed metagame. I don't see him actually being able to connect and then actually activating. But he does have a lot of flavor.
Yeah.
And that's about it for him.
There's going to be some pretty sweet stories, like, you know, tell your friends, like, if you can get it to go off, but...
Like,
you know.
This is like Hex's version of, like, Notion Thief. Like,
right.
Now that I'm actually thinking about it.
Sure. My only thing to say about this card, real quick, is that he passes, so far, the toughness test, right? Like, he has more than 2 toughness, so he's pretty safe from removal so far.
That is actually one of the reasons why they said that the card should be banned.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Because there's also people agreeing with the guy now that it should be banned. Or might get banned.
I mean, sure, right now, like, I actually see them maybe putting in, like, a lightning bolt effect, because a lot of these cards are at 3 toughness, so I have a feeling that they're going to put in some sort of lightning bolt effect into the game.
Yeah, well, you know, it is pretty hard to block him. Like, he is a 3/3 with no evasion, so I can see where it's tough to block him.
It is.
I mean, ever since Vampire King, I expected to see some type of lightning bolt.
I agree. Like, again, Vampire King, yet another... Like, Vampire King, for example, like, is very good. And he might get banned. Because he is good. This guy can be chump blocked by no one for days. I don't see the comparison. If he had Flight and fucking Haste, like, sure, maybe. But, like, I don't... Not even then, to be honest with you. But, like, I don't know. Whatever. Anybody else? Any questions, comments?
Or even Haste, he would actually be.
Yeah, Haste, something like maybe.
Yeah, and like someone's talk about in chat, and this is something that I talked about on Facebook with you, Dusty, is that you also have the downside of losing your 3/3 if he hits your opponent. So,
I mean, yeah, we talked about him a lot. I think it's so cool that it says he destroys you. That's my favorite part of the card, is that he destroys you.
That is the best part of the card.
Yeah.
He's like a little Shaggy that comes out. He just destroys you, and there's nothing you can do about it. As soon as I get revealed, you're destroyed. All right, moving on to the next card. Enough time with old Reginald. Stupid movie, anyway.
Wait, it's based on a movie?
It's like the troll tat about it.
Princess Bride, man. Old Inigo Montoya.
Let's see.
Before my time.
I'm trying to. Sounds like a movie that was made in the 20s. Back when Tata was watching.
Netflix.com, man. Like, right. It's probably on there.
So this one, I know where it came from too. Oh, Hex Vault brought this one out. All Crimson Clarity. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you. I have no idea what this card does. I actually have the. I don't understand the resource symbols at all. Like, I'm gonna be honest. I don't get them.
All right. So the way that this card works is very simple. All right. So when you play it, you gain a red threshold, right? Which is basically nothing. And then what you also get out of it is 3 temporary resources. So the way that the symbols work is you have a number and then a slash and then a second number. Right? The first number is temporary resources, and then the second number is permanent resources. Okay. So anything that's before the slash is things that go away at the end of the turn, and anything after is things that stay. So this card, if you played Magic, it's Pyretic Ritual, which is a card that costs 2 with 1 red, and you gain 3. Now, a lot of people on the forums, again, are kind of gone nuts over this card. Guys, it's not good. Like, I'm sorry, it's not good. Now, if there's a deck that lets you combo, then it'll be good. Like, for example, Archmage, Renlock, Dream Dance, those are 2 cards that are pretty sweet with it. I'm sure that there's some other cards that might go well with it, but right now, you're talking about playing it in fast decks, by playing it turn 2 to like ramp up into like a 3-drop. Like, that's I'm not so sure about that one, but you can try it all you want to, but it's not going to do what you want it to do.
Okay,
like you're going to play 2 cards, like Crimson Clarity plus your 3-drop, to put like a 3-drop into play. That's just either going to get killed or blocked or something. Like I'm not seeing it. Like I don't think this card is good at all. I think it's fine that it exists because it'll be a 4 of in all the combo decks, but like it's not very good.
Yeah.
Wait, why do you not want to do like a turn 2 Lancaster? Like look at old Reginald down on turn 2.
Right.
There you go.
How
Man.
do we lose?
Ugh.
He comes out, he's OP, and we win. Oh my god. Like, but okay, so like this is my favorite thing ever that me and Zach do whenever we like look over cards and stuff is we try to look at the card and like make up fake text for it that actually like is what it does. So for this card, it would be like make like your 3-drop that you're playing on turn 3 basically just has discard a card on it. So it's like play your card, like play your 3-drop and discard a card, which the card you're discarding is this fucking card that you took. It's like it's pure card disadvantage. So you get nothing out of it. Like
a lot of people think that the red threshold that you gain from it is like an actual resource. Like it's not. Like it is a threshold. Like thresholds in this game like aren't resources. Like you don't spend thresholds. So like you gain a threshold and then you basically ramp up from 2. So every one of these that you cast, you gain 1 temporary resource. So like, say on turn 2, you use both your resources for the turn to cast this, right? You'll gain a red threshold and you'll have 3 resources to spend on that turn, and then they go away.
Yeah, like
so you don't actually gain anything.
Yeah, the card like this in Magic was not really played.
Well, it was played in combo decks.
Sure. It was played in the. Was it played in Heartless Summoning something, right? At one point, was it like?
I don't know. Probably not. Like cards like this are never played in like standard. Like very very few times. Like cards like Sealing Song were played, but like these are just played in like eternal formats, ones that don't rotate for like combo decks.
Yeah, I agree they need to clarify the resource system a little bit. The problem that I have with this card and the way it's worded is like I don't understand the bracket. Like I do now that I was explained it, but like I don't understand why it's like that. I just don't understand why it doesn't say gain 0, like just gain 3 temporary resources.
Well, I mean that's a fine system that they use. Like you just have to learn like what it means. Now the thing that's kind of confusing is the box that's around like numbers. Like it's very very hard for me to read. Then I really have to squint to see.
I actually cannot even read that.
Yeah, and this picture it's actually unreadable. Like there's no way to tell what the hell that is. It looks like it says gain a little truck.
Right.
Like I play this and I get a little truck.
Train. Gain a caboose.
Gain a caboose to carry your goods. Like all right. So Sean, anything to add about Crimson discard?
Yeah, like I said, only for a combo deck. I do not see this ever going into any type of deck that wants to play creatures.
That makes perfect sense.
Especially not a mono red aggro deck like I was hearing earlier when this first came out.
Dude, I think that's where it's at its strongest, dude.
Right.
I know. I mean, because it's so much better than an actual 2-drop into a 3-drop. Then,
No, dude, it's a 2-drop into a 3-drop on the turn 2.
Yeah, like look, we might eat our words when there's some awesome combo deck that plays like Dream Dance and Archmage Rinlock and Crimson Clarity is going to be like a key part of it, but like unless that deck exists, like this card will never in a million years be played to be like play Crimson Clarity, play my 3-drop or play my 5-drop on turn 4. Like it's not going to happen.
Yeah, but see that's what bothers me about this card. And whenever we look at these cards, like we are telling you what we think in a vacuum. Like this is how this card is. Sure, if there's fucking 7 other cards that come out that make this card good, you got us. But that this card takes 7 cards to make it good, or 4 cards, or 3 cards, or what the fuck ever. But Vampire King is just good. Like, that's how we rate cards right now. Like, we're just telling you how good we think they are currently. Sure, there might be some sick combo deck that comes out that, like, a bunch of kids play that, we lose a bunch of games to. But, first of all, we don't lose games, so I don't know.
I mean, if you play, like, 3 of them in a row, you think you get a turn 2, like, Raging Terrace down? I mean, that's pretty good right there.
Yeah, or if there's a way to play it for free or something, I don't know.
Now, in PvE, you have a little bit more, wiggle room with it, because then it just turns into a straight-up Dark Ritual. Like, you pay 1 and get 3 resources out of it. And then maybe you can ramp into something. But the way it is now, you're just gaining one temporary resource for every one that you play, and that's just not worth it.
Yeah, actually, what Sinclair said about the you won't see a deck taking advantage of this card this set.
Yeah, it'll be several sets.
Yeah, and that's usually how these kind of cards work, right? Like once you got a couple blocks out, you might find a way to play them. But currently, like I don't think so. Okay, moving on to the next card. I'm not sure where these next cards came from, so I feel really bad. Hopefully, someone in the site does. I mean,
I can probably tell you pretty quick.
Okay, so the first one we'll talk about is Persecute.
All right, Persecute, I believe, was from was that the one from Digital TCG? Yeah, that was from digitaltcg.com.
Okay, yeah, you're right. It was. Yeah, Digital TCG. I don't know much about the website. I have not been to Digital TCG very much. Shaggy goons never say die. I don't know what that means, but
man, you are sheltered if you haven't even seen Goonies either.
I have not seen Goonies. I actually refuse to watch.
You're 0 for 2 tonight.
I'm
Once
sorry.
0 for 2, Princess Bride, and now Goonies. Like this is unreal.
In fact, I've seen Goonies either.
Thanks, Sean. Hey,
I'm
Sean.
leaving.
Sean, high five. I don't know how to get up to you, but high five, bub. We've made Tata leave. So, Persecute actually looks better since he's not here because there's not that glare off his head. That like, what's up, man? We were just talking about how much we missed you. So, Persecute, 2/1 blood threshold. Target troop gets permanent. When this troop dies, destroy each troop with the same name as that troop you own in all zones.
That is the saddest looking bunny ever.
Dude's bunny got destroyed.
See, it's actually a samurai bunny too. So I'm wondering if that's my boy Hop Hero.
I don't think it's your boy, bro. I think your boy would be like crushing noobs.
I mean, Hop Hero just got straight murdered right there.
Yeah, it's kind of odd.
Looks like one of Tata's pets. It's fucking tail's hanging off. Like.
First, old Grayson. I don't know. Like, I don't think you can really compare old Persecute here with old Grayson. Like. He hasn't done anything wrong.
He looks so happy to be on HexTCGPro cast. Like, he is the happiest cat right now. Did you get that text that April sent you that I had her send you the diary for the cat and dog?
Yeah, that's pretty funny. Yeah. All right, so this card, when this troop dies, for each troop. Okay, so it's cards like this typically aren't very good. So. It's certainly not good in like a draft format because people don't have more than one of a certain, troop. But even in a constructed format, being able to kill like all 4 of your opponent's cards, it's not that good if you have to 2-for-1 yourself. Like for example, you play 2 cards to kill their 1 on board. Like I understand that you're also killing the ones that are in their deck and in their hands and everything, but like you don't actually like affect the board that way.
Yeah.
So it's like I don't think it's very good. Again, I could be wrong, but I don't think I'm wrong on this one.
Sean?
Yeah, I also don't think this is too good. The only time I would see using it is if there is a creature a creature you just cannot deal with, like, at all. You have almost no way to deal with it, and you can just answer it 1 or 2 ways, and you just use this to get rid of all of them. And, like, other than that, though, like I said, you're spending 2 cards to kill 1 creature.
Yeah.
So, not that good, I don't think.
I agree with you. I think maybe a sideboard card if you see, like, a Chimera deck go out of control or something. But even then, I think there's probably better options.
Yeah, it's pretty good against Chimera, for example, if like they have a board full of like battle hoppers. Say they have 5 or 6 battle hoppers out, you kill 1, and then you can kill all of them. But like, even still, I mean, let's be real, you're killing battle hoppers, like they're O1s.
Sure, and
you're spending 2 cards to kill battle hoppers.
Yeah. What's more important about that too is battle hoppers are O1s, so it's better just to use a card to kill the Lord,
yeah.
And then you effectively kill them too. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah. So I think the card is neat. I think it has a neat effect. I think this card would be bananas if it was like a I don't know, what do you call it, like a look at their hand and kill a card and remove all of them or something like that.
Like, see, like a card like this, like if I was making a card like this, I'll make it cost 4, and I would have 2 blood threshold, and I would say destroy target troop, and as well as every troop of that name in your opponent's all zones, but blah blah blah. So I just make it cost more and turn it into like spell to actually kill something.
Sure, no, I
then
agree.
then it will be playable. Yeah. Like the way it is right now, like I have to use this. Like, okay, and even if it wasn't like an instant,
I was just
then,
about to say that. Thank you.
Like it would actually maybe be playable because you can block something and then
Sure,
persecute
exactly.
it like at instant speed. But
Exactly.
the fact that it's a basic action, it makes it even a million times worse.
I actually, when I first read it, thought that it was instant. Like that, I was actually going to say that right before, because like to me it makes sense. You can use it as a combat trick. Like you know, you can throw out your your 1/1 defender or whatever to kill out a bunch of battle hoppers, whatever. Like it makes sense. Or attack through with your guy if they try to chump block with their battle hoppers. Just clear them all or something. That would be a kind of a cool effect, but as it stands right now, I'm not a big fan. Especially not at like the uncommon or common slot or whatever the hell this is. The green slots.
Yeah, to answer the question in chat, like I suppose that it works the way like you're saying. Because the card does say, you also like they use the keyword destroy. Like I would assume that it would count as them dying, but so that might trigger other effects or whatever.
Let me actually read. I'm gonna see what. Let me see something about it. This is when this troop dies, destroy each troop with the same name as that troop.
Yeah.
Oh.
So if they're coming from their deck, they probably count as dying.
Bro,
So sure. Like Vampire King, it might trigger.
Dude,
4
this
times
card is fucking bananas in the Reginald mirror match, dude. All you do is get yours in their deck first, and then, boom, just persecute theirs.
Cool. All right, so moving on.
That's why that card needs to be banned, man. All right, so the next
we are live like deck building right now. Crimson Clarity, Reginald, Persecute. Dude, like we're building the deck right now.
Because you get it out first, man. That's why you need Crimson Clarity in there.
They'll probably end up banning Persecute if it like gets too out of hand. Survival of the Fittest. Here's another card I like just for flavor wise. Like I have to say, like, what they've done for the fan site preview cards is pretty awesome.
I think it's so cool.
Like as far as flavor goes. So I mean, a lot of these cards aren't the best, but the flavor on them is like really sweet.
Where did this card come from? Do we have any idea? Real quick. Survival. I'll look it up. You keep talking about it.
Sure. Okay, so this came from the Hex Gamepedia, I believe. But yes, it came from the Hex Gamepedia.
Okay. I don't know what that is, but they're good people there.
Yeah. So this card is it's basically like a removal spell for wild, more or less. Like I think it's fine. Because the game right now, the card pool is so small, I think that cards like this could actually see play. I'm trying not to think like Magic. Like in Magic, a card like this would never ever see play in a standard constructed format. But because the card pool is so small, it might actually see play. And essentially what it does is you pick one of your guys and one of their guys, and they fight, and anything that lives gets a +1/+1 counter or permanent +1/+1 or whatever they want to call it in this game. And if that's a kind of effect that you want in your wild decks, then this card is going to be pretty good.
I feel like it's a win more card. I mean, it's one of those cards like if you're already winning, you win a little bit more. I kind of agree that I don't think it's going to see too much play. But I think that it's every time a color like that I don't think should have removal gets removal, I think it's at least worth a look at. I mean, like green doesn't have removal, so like it's really cool to see that they have a removal spell. So maybe it could be good. Sean?
I think it'll be great for limited. It'll be an amazing limited card, being able to actually like clear off creatures out of the way, and a color that really doesn't get a lot of removal. Standard, like constructed, probably not. I still don't see this being played, even with the limited card pool. Yeah. I'd actually see them dipping into red for burn before I'd see them really wanting to play this card too much.
Yeah, I don't actually know of a reason why you play it, unless you're just trying to use it as a, I don't know, maybe a small buff to a creature that like you don't want to die. Maybe like use it like your Vampire King or something, so he'll be a 4 toughness, so that way you might not be as susceptible to removal or something. I don't know why you would use it, but to me, I don't see very many uses in constructed, but I do agree that it's going to be insane and limited. I think it's very good.
Yeah, it's a very good limited card. Like also what people are saying in chat, and this is something that I kind of thought about, but didn't think it was that relevant because it probably won't come up very often. But there is a way to like have your own troops battle each other, like have like a 2-4 battle some other 2-4, or like a 2-3 battle a 2-3, or even like two battle hoppers fight each other to give them both +1/+1.
Yeah, true. But if you're using it for that, like, why don't you just use like Evolve or something? You know what I mean? Like,
sure, yeah. And there are better cards that do that, but
sure.
This card might be a little more like versatile.
Yeah, I think if it was instant, I would have a better. I don't know. I think it seems like they have a lot of cool effects, but they're on sorcery speed cards, and I don't really know what to do with them. Then you know what I mean? Like they seem a little.
Yeah, I would like this card a lot more if it was instant speed.
Sure,
like,
yeah.
okay, so I'm the kind of guy that'll play fun decks every once in a while to have fun on stream and to help you guys out, to see cool things happen. Like, I'm kind of like a Johnny player, when it comes to that. But for tournaments and things like that, like, I play actual decks, and like, I hate sorceries. Like, I hate playing anything on my turn. Like, seriously.
Yeah.
So,
which was
if it's
the
not
big problem?
instant, like, I don't like it.
Which was the big problem we had with just Hearthstone as a game, right? There's no interaction, so it feels very like. It feels a lot more luck-based than traditional card games, because you have to, like, I drew it, does it beat you? No, crap, draw it, does it beat you? It's just very, I don't know, scripted almost.
Right.
Alright, moving on to Wind Whisperer. Here he is. Whisper into the wind. 3-drop 1 diamond threshold, 1/2, pay 1, tap him, exhaust target troop. The old Gideon's Lawkeeper, but worse.
Yeah, I don't know why they're making cards like this. Like this effect is perfectly fine, and I'm glad that it exists, because somewhere someone's gonna want something like this. But it costs 3. I mean, come on, Cryptozoic, please. Cards like this do not need to cost 3. Like,
I agree.
It costs way too much, and even in limited, like 3 for this effect still is not that good. If it was like a 1/3 or a 1/4, maybe, but a 1/2 for 3 with this effect is not good. Like, they could have made it a 1/1 for 1, like every other Magic card that has this effect, or they could just make it like a 2-cost card. And I mean, it would still be bad, but it'd be better than 3. Like, it's just, I don't know. This card, to me, like, is not playable in anything, like, ever.
I mean, I agree with you. I don't understand why it costs 3. When I looked at this card, what I usually do when I look at a card is I look at its power and toughness first, its effect, and then its cost. So when I looked at its power and toughness, I was like, oh shit, this is cool. Probably like a 1 cost, maybe 2. Look up, it's 3. I was like, whoa, I don't understand why it costs 3. Like, it blew me away when I saw it. It doesn't make sense. I don't think there's ever been a card with this effect that's cost any more than 2. That I have ever seen. So why they decided to make it 3, they didn't even buff it to make it 3. It's like they just were like, it's almost like they were like, we don't want to be like Magic, cost 3.
Yeah,
I really don't.
It just appears to me that the Coyote cards have been by far the worst cards out of any race. Like they even have a Coyote on the picture of Soothing Breeze, which is another one of those cards that will never see the light of day in any format. But like this card, I don't know. Like, there's really nothing else to say about it. It's just not very good.
Yeah, that's a skip, Sean. Like, I don't even want Sean to talk about it.
It won't even see play in limited. Like, I highly doubt it. So we should just move on to the next card.
Okay, the next card. Actually, the card I thought I was talking about. I don't think I have it in here. What happened to it? Oh, there it is. Chimera.
Old Chimera. That card is another.
It's Chimera.
Oh, Chimera. Sorry.
Chimera. Sure. We'll call it that too. 5-drop 3 diamond threshold 4/4. At the start of your turn, choose Flight, Steadfast, or Life Drain. This troop gets that power until the start of your next turn. Mm-hmm. JT Tata.
I feel like this card is certainly a limited bomb. In my draft decks, if I'm diamond, I'm definitely going to be looking for this guy. And even pack 1, pick 1. This is the card that'll certainly put me in diamond. He's pretty powerful. I can even see him maybe seeing some play in like a constructed format, and maybe like the white life drain deck that they had at Gen Con, for example. I think this guy might have a spot in something like that. He's a very powerful card. We'll see how much play he actually gets though. But I don't hate it.
Sean.
Yeah, I don't. I see him as limited. He'll be an amazing unlimited, like easily like a first pickable limited card. That's it, though. I really do not see this hitting constructed too much.
Okay, I'm actually going to throw in I guess a different opinion. I think he's pretty playable and constructed too. I mean, a 4/4 flyer is very good. I think it's for surely playable. Also, 4 toughness is almost untouchable currently. So I see him being very strong. I also like how a lot of the diamond cards are getting this. I don't know what the word is for, but they're getting this like they have a lot of options with their cards. Their cards do like not just one thing; they do multiple things that you get to choose from. They have a lot of variants, which I like. I think that's cool. I think it's neat that they give them options.
Same. And just to address in chat here from Sinclair, I am right there with you, buddy. Like a 4/4 blank until my next turn is not very appealing at all. However, you really have to think right now from the small set standpoint. Like, a card like this in WoW or in Magic, like they wouldn't be good because we have 800 cards, 1,000 cards to choose from each block. Well, right now in Hex, the first set's what, 300 cards, 350, 400? I don't know how many they said, but like it's not 1,000 cards. Like, so cards like this, might sneak into some decks just for lack of better options. So that's something to really,
Sure, and if you really think about it too, like what is threatening him right now? Like why would he not live to your next turn? You know what I mean? Like really, a 4/4 is pretty big right now. That's actually, I mean, in Magic it's not very good, but like in Hex so far, 4/4 is pretty powerful, pretty strong. Like, I think he'll easily make it to your next turn unless he gets murder, and it's like the only thing. Of course, is other things, but there's not too much that can really deal with them. So.
Yeah, the life drain effect on him, I think, is the one that'll probably get played the most. But like that flight, like Steadfast, I don't really see it being used that much because typically for Steadfast, you'll want to attack enemies as a blocker, but I think just gaining 4 life is just better than something like that.
Because it's like attacking for 4 lifelink is like blocking the next turn.
Yeah, essentially.
I mean? So, yeah, I agree. I don't see Steadfast being that good, but obviously Flight and Life Drain seem pretty good.
Yeah.
I think Steadfast is just like a diamond thing, right? And I think they're just going to put that on a lot of cards because that's kind of like what diamond is. So. All right, Chimera. All right, let's see. I'm trying to skip around Tata's card as much as possible, but I think we're running out of options here.
We're going to have to talk about
I don't know if we have time to talk about them, to be honest with you. All right, Cloud Watcher. Oh, shit. Where did Chimera come from?
Chimera came from, I know this, Hex Realms.
Hex Realms, cool. Hex Realms, for sure, check out that website if you guys haven't checked it out. Hex Realms, good site, as is all the Hex websites. So. Go ahead, I'm sorry. Oh, Cloud Watcher, 1-drop, 1/1. Let's see, what is this? What's the green threshold called?
Wild
thresholds. Target troop gets Steadfast this turn for 1 diamond threshold and 1 tap, 1 sapphire, 1 tap, draw a card, then choose and discard a card.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
So, this is a Coyote, so I don't think I really have to say much else. But no, seriously, this guy's kind of average. His first effect, the diamond effect to give Steadfast, isn't very good. Of course, but the sapphire effect to draw a card, then discard a card. If there's any kind of way to like abuse your graveyard, it might be pretty good. It's card filtering, but it's just one of those cards that just it's not very good, but at the same time I don't think it's awful. Effects like this are always somewhat fringe playable just for certain combo decks or effects and things like that, but it's nothing to get super excited about.
No, I agree. I feel like they kind of missed the mark with Steadfast. If it was like Lifelink or something, like that gives us something else to play with that might be good, or we could do something with it. Steadfast is pretty, I don't know, out of the ordinary. I think it's from the games we play, the blue effect is very similar to the red effect that we're used to. You know what I mean? So it's very, I think, neat to see blue get a draw and discard type effect. Usually that's a red thing. So Sean, what do you think of the Cloud Watcher?
I really wish it was a blue card. That
Yeah.
if it was actually blue and like on color with the looter ability, then I think this would be much better because they could actually use it as a looter. But
I never thought about that, but you're right. Like, yeah, you bring up a really good point. Like, why did they make this card green? I wonder.
I don't know.
Like, it doesn't even have a green ability.
Well, I mean, I'm sure that there's some flavor reasons for it. Like, for example, the Coyotals might be in, Wild, Diamond, and Sapphire, and they just want to be like, cool, let's get one card to put all these different shards on it. It is worth mentioning that this is the only card I've seen so far, I think, that uses multiple shards to, like, do an effect other than, like, Midnight Shepherd or something like that.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. So, I mean, like you said, what do you think about limited? Very playable limited? I guess
probably not.
No.
Maybe the card filtering, would like. If I'm in Wild and Sapphire, like I wouldn't be too upset to play one of these, because looters like aren't bad in limited just because you can filter your lands. But again, it's not something that I'll be like, yeah, man, cool, I got 3 Cloud Watchers. Like, it's not really something I'm really looking to go after.
Sure. I mean, at first glance, I think they're probably going to ban it.
Like, I wish you guys could see what's going on over here. Like, in fact, let me see if I can get my webcam. Like, my cat figured out a way to get into his own food, and he's eating. Like, he's feeding himself.
Dude, there you go. You've done it. You win.
Like, that's like I give up. Like, it's kind of ridiculous.
All right, so here we go. Let's now talk about the 2 cards that Cryptozoic showed us this Friday. The first one was the revamped Claw of the Mountain Guard. So, do you guys remember what he was before? He was a 2/1 that dealt 2 every turn, or something, right?
He was a 2/2 that gave all of your orcs Rage 2 or something when they attack.
Right. Okay.
Rage 1 or whatever.
Yeah, so they changed him to a 3-drop, 2 blood thresholds. At the start of your turn, this troop deals 2 damage to you. 5/4 for
Right.
3.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. So, John Tatum, you're up.
I don't know how to feel about this guy. Like, I'm kind of speechless.
It's like he says, ban that cat.
Yeah.
It's fucking OP, man.
My cat is awesome, and he will never be banned. But
banning him immediately.
this guy, I honestly don't know what to think about him. Like, I don't want to say he's bad because then like someone will come out with like some really sweet deck that will play 4 of them and attack for 20 very quickly. But like, I don't love him. Like, doing 2 damage to you a turn is a pretty steep drawback when he can just be blocked like over and over and over again by like battle hoppers and shit. He's very large. A 5/4 for 3 is is very good. But with no evasion, I'm not sold on him.
I think a 3-drop 5/4 is for sure good enough to look at.
Yeah, of course.
Especially whenever he's in the same color and in the same curve as the Harbinger or whatever. You know what I mean? So that's going to give us some cool plays and some, maybe some really early threats. And I agree with you. I think 2 damage every turn is for sure overtaxing maybe. Plus you don't get like Inferno. Well, you do get Inferno, but you don't have the ability to cast it. So I see maybe once they get dual color lands, like a really aggressive maybe Blood Ruby deck taking advantage of this card, but I think straight off a mono Blood deck doesn't seem to quite have enough quite yet. Sean?
Yeah, I do like him for the Blood Ruby aggressive deck. And I do think it's still going to be playable, but this card scares me because we also have Inner Conflict, which this card just gets destroyed by. So, I actually killed someone off of the 1-drop 2/1 that deals 1. I just Inner Conflicted it on turn 2, and he died to it.
Yeah, like things like that will certainly happen. It'll be freaking hilarious. But like in Magic, there was a deck called Suicide Black, and essentially what it did was it played a bunch of really undercosted large troops that hurt them. So for example, it played like a 1-cost 2/2, like actually several 1-cost 2/2s that dealt 1 damage to you a turn basically. It played cards that when they were dealt damage you sacrificed that many permanents, like things like that. But they were very, very large creatures, and that deck was actually really good. But a lot of that had to do with the other supporting cards But if something like that can exist in this game, this guy will be a very large part of it.
No, I agree. I think any card that has the ability to cheat the system, as in you're playing a 5/4 on turn 3, is worth a look at. But I think that this card in particular needs some sort of support to be good. I think, like Sean said, a quick interconflict can make you look really stupid.
Yeah, of course.
So I think the reasonable response would be to ban interconflict before it gets out of hand.
I mean, obviously.
Yeah. And then the last card that they promoted or previewed was Demolition, which is basically Stone Rain, right? Is that what?
Yeah, essentially. Like there are some differences, I guess, but like because it's a different game. But
so
that's basically what it is.
Yeah, three cost, 1 ruby. Target champion loses a caboose.
Yeah. So how this card is different? Well, I mean, I guess it's pretty much the same way, but what it does is it makes your opponent like lose 1 resource that they might have stored up from their last turn. So if your opponent's ready to play a counter spell or something, then you could Stone Rain them to cost them 1 resource and then play something else. But if that's the case, they'll just counter like the Demolition. But I don't think this card is very good. I know that Function kind of likes it, and I can see where he's coming from. But Stone Rain effects in this game won't be as good. Is it 0-1? I'm pretty certain it's 1-1, but let me look at it on the actual database here. No, it's definitely 1-1, but still it's it's not very good. Oh, that's new.
Yeah, I got it. It's fine.
Oh, okay.
Just keep talking. We'll bust my pop on there.
So anyway, there's not much really to say about the card. It's a Stone Rain effect, and it won't be good unless there's multiple other cheap Stone Rain effects to go with it. And Hex, people are going to be building decks with more lands, and the reason for that is charge powers. So you're not really going to land screw someone by just Stone raining them on turn 3.
Yeah, I mean, I have never played with it during a time where land destruction was good. So to me, this isn't very good, especially with no dual lands or no man lands or anything like that to take advantage of the effect that you're destroying, I guess, a resource or a land.
Right.
So because of that, I'm going to say this is not very good. But this is the first set, so possibly down the road it could be good. Or like you said, if it's if you could rebuy it a bunch of times or something like that, obviously that would be good. But I don't know much about land destruction. So Sean.
Yeah, no. For Stone Rain, I really liked it for the ability to actually take out a color. Like if they're sitting on 1 land with a color, you can take it out, or if they have a utility land, being able to actually answer lands that can cause you problems. Yeah. This just takes out a resource. You can't hit a threshold, and I don't actually see how they can do utility lands in this game right now. But so it loses a lot of its value off that, and the fact that people are going to run more lands than normal just because of charge powers. It's not really going to mana screw people as much as it would in Magic.
Yeah, I agree with Shad and I guess Sean and everyone that it should hit a threshold.
It should.
Yeah, it really should. Maybe if it cost 1 or something, sure, I can understand why it wouldn't. But at 3, I think it's safe to let it hit a threshold. At least currently, it's safe to let it do that.
Oh, if it cost 1, it would be insane. Threshold or not,
I know.
So anyway, that's
but seriously, it should hit a threshold. No matter what. I don't know why. It's one of those things where I feel like they're being a little too safe. I think of some of these cards, it's just they're being a little too safe. I don't know if they're afraid that maybe they had a bad experience with a Gideon's Lawkeeper where they think it should cost 3, or they got Stone Raid to hell or something and they think it shouldn't take a threshold.
Now Shad is on to something here, Crimson Clarity into old Demolition here. That's now we're talking.
Banned for being terrible. I like that. Good call. All right,
so let's just move on. Not much else to say about this.
Hey, John,
I think Sean summed it up
why do
perfectly.
you think you run the show? All right, I want
to
go.
Looking at bad cards.
All right, so we'll talk about the card that just got posted by Hex Realms. Oh, Karen News. This is one of those cards that I think is actually is really good quality. We got a better quality one.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, but Karen Ooze, 3-drop, 2 blood threshold, 1-drop, 2/2, 1 mana, tap them, remove up to 3 target troops, and a graveyard from the game, gain 1 health for each troop removed this way. John.
Yeah, it's bad. Okay, cards like this need to exist though. And the reason for that is because you have to have something to hate out decks that tried to use their graveyard for broken effects. If cards like this didn't exist, then the graveyard decks would just be too powerful. Now, by itself in a vacuum, it's clearly not very good.
Sure.
3 cost 2/2 that might might net you some life. Isn't too appealing, but it might be a pretty good sideboard card. It might be currently I'm trying to think off the top of my head cards that's good against. That's really good against the Inspire decks that try to utilize Blessing to Fallen.
Yeah. It's good against the old Eye of Oblivion.
Sure. I don't know what else it might be good against. But
can it hit the Warlock Inquisitor before it can actually be returned to their hand?
Probably. I mean, if that's the way that the stack works, I have to read Warlock Inquisitor. If it's a replacement effect, then no. But if it actually hits the graveyard first, then yeah. I mean, I assume that you can do that. So
it's good. What's the Midnight Shepherd? There's a counter to him, bro.
Sure. Yes. I mean, it's counter to anything that might bring a creature back from the graveyard.
Sure. So we're joking a little bit, obviously, but it's very clear by our joking responses of how not impactful this card is right now. There's really nothing it affects. Now, a couple sets down the road, if they start bringing a bunch of reanimating effects, like John said, you need a card like this in your card pool, so you have a way to deal with it. And I feel like this is a card it'll be set off to the side, locked away, waiting for something to be good against.
Yeah, it'll be a sideboard card for quite a while, and yes, that we know of. To answer a question from chat, that sideboarding works the same as Magic. You have a 15 card sideboard, and you just do the 1-for-1 trades.
Yeah, actually talk with Corey, and it is 15 cards sideboard currently. That might change after Alpha's been out for a while, but going into Alpha, 15 cards, just like
yeah.
Sean, what do you think about Bad Ooze?
Yeah, it's just gonna be a sideboard card to deal with anything for the graveyard. If it actually was more like Damaging Ooze and gave you +1/+1 counters for removing target troops, then it would be actually playable like main board. But as it is now, that sideboard for graveyard strategies.
Yeah, well, that's true, Sean. Even if it was you might even be able to use it against aggro or something to gain a little bit of life if it wasn't so remove 3 troops is ridiculous. That's unbelievable. That's so.
Yeah, I mean I think that the health that you gain is all one packet, and what I mean by that is if you have something in play like the Paladin, the Righteous Paladin, I don't think that you put 3 counters on them for gaining 3 health. Sure. I think you gain it all at one time.
No, that would make sense.
I hate to just keep shitting on every card that we see. Man, this card sucks. But these cards really aren't very good. So, and I'm gonna be pretty disappointed if I have to play cards like this in my deck starting off because there's just lack of better options. But I don't like really reactive cards like this. I like playing proactive cards that when they come into play, my opponent has to kill them, rather than playing cards like this that are answers to opponent's threats.
Yeah, sure. That's a good point. Like a lot of people say with card games, there's no wrong threats, only wrong answers. And that's are really true about this card too. I mean, a 3-drop 2/2. Let's say this doesn't count. Just a 3-drop 2/2 is bad. So his effect is also bad if your opponent is shitting on you with a bunch of 1/1s that he buffs and you don't actually remove anything. It just doesn't. It doesn't actually seem like that his effect is at all noticeable or good right now.
Yeah.
So I think that's it for all the cards. Thanks a lot, guys.
All right, we're done.
Yeah, see you later, guys. Thanks for watching. All right, so here's a card I think we're actually going to finally get John to say something good about. I don't know why. I think it's terrible.
You do not say such things about Hop Hero.
All right, Hop Hero. First of all, what website brought out Hop Hero?
I don't know, like the awesome one. Like
Here we
I
go.
think it was Casual Hex.
Casual Hex.
whoever has Hop Hero is
John's new favorite
automatically awesome. Let me see.
Casual Hex.
Okay, Casual Hex. There you
All
go.
right,
And
so-
old Ice Pick is a pretty good guy. He follows us. So
website? The Ice Pick. What's up, bro? Thanks for bringing out the badass samurai. Listen, the only thing that's cooler than samurais are ninjas. Now, unfortunately, there's no ninjas yet, so this guy is the coolest. So, Hop Hero Samurai.
so first of all,
Oh, I haven't told them what it
this
does.
guy, it doesn't matter. This guy's artwork is already the coolest art in the entire game. Like, I don't care what anyone says. Like, all three versions or all three forms of his card, especially the third one, are awesome.
I will say this looks exactly like the same bunny on Persecute.
Maybe.
I
Well, he has a little life drained out of him, but
Persecute is my least favorite card then. But
Hop Hero's on both of them.
so let's talk about this guy for a second. Just real quick, all jokes aside, he has a 1-cost 1/1 for 1 blood threshold, of course, and he's unique. So already, I think he's a replacement for the 01 Rage Bunny from the Shin Hair deck that I posted before. But it's when a troop you control is sacrificed by any means. So by his effect, by hideous conversion, unnecessary sacrifice. There's tons of cards that sacrifice things. You put a counter on him. Once you have 2 counters on him, you transform him into his second stage. So stage 1 is pay 1, sacrifice some other troop to give target troop gets +1/+0 this turn. Right? Is it +1 or is it -1?
-1.
-1. Okay. So
which is to be fair, kind of bad.
That's not the worst. Like, it's because he's a 1-drop. Using his
Sure.
effect like early on like a battle hopper that you just make for free really makes combat kind of hard for your can't really make profitable blocks.
Sure. Well, we talked about this before. I think it was one of our first videos. Anything that makes your opponent think is good for you. So,
Right.
like, them having to be like, should I attack? He can make it -1. Can I do that? That's cool. But to be realistic, -1 isn't that.
Yeah.
good.
Right. Yeah. It's not game breaking, but it does make your opponent think and could make them make a mistake. Also, I noticed here that he has the wrong creature type. He's clearly not a warrior. He's clearly either like ninja badass or samurai awesome dude or like something other than warrior.
Sure. So that is his first form. So if you get 2 Bushido counters, he
Goes Super Saiyan.
it doesn't go Super Saiyan quite yet. He goes kind of Super Saiyan.
This is stage 1.
Which is the stage 1. Which this is a terrible. Which this art in this is way cooler. Oh no! I moved you guys. No.
No.
Piero.
Alright, so
this is the second form.
Hop Hero Elite Samurai.
I mean, it's glowing
also
everywhere.
has-
Which first
Yeah.
of all, there's no such thing as an elite samurai.
He has glowing ears. Come on.
Super Saiyan.
All right.
Yeah.
So, look, this card's unrealistic. I don't like it. Go ahead. Though.
Yeah, and like to answer the question, chat, like I would play 4 of this guy. Like I feel like you definitely want to hit him like turn 1. And I know that he's unique, but like
How does
I definitely
unique
feel
work
like
in this game? Do we know yet? Like how does
yeah,
it actually
like
work?
you can't have more than 1 in play.
Okay, so it's like the old magic rule.
Is it based on the name? Does that mean you can have one at multiple levels?
Ooh.
That I don't know.
I would say that it's probably like you can't have either one of his forms out. If I had to guess.
Probably not. Oh, okay. So someone did say it's 1 of each stage. So I guess you could have 3 of them out if they were on 3
Oh
different,
shit.
which is pretty sweet.
Ah,
But
that's kind of sexy.
yeah. So stage 2 has the same counter effect, and you can sacrifice a troop to give a creature -1/-1. So
that's good. Dusty likes that.
yeah, clearly much better than -1/-0.
Sure.
And again, it makes your opponents blocking a nightmare. One of the main cards that I see working well with this guy is the Blood Cauldron Ritualist. Like I feel like they work very, very well together. So I kind of expect to see a lot of that going
Blood
on.
Cauldron Ritualist. Which one is that? Is that the one where like she sacrifices them?
That's the
Okay.
1/1 where you sacrifice a troop to make it a 4/4
Yeah, okay.
for the turn.
Yeah, that's good. I like
Yes. So that's stage 2. It's pretty awesome. He becomes a 2/2, so pretty respectable for bunny size.
I like it. Glowing ears and everything.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so are we ready for the Super Saiyan form?
Let's do it.
Oh my god, I don't know if I can handle it. This card's trash, by the way. I don't know why you like it. Only noobs like this card.
So
Super
stage
Saiyan 2.
3 here, like not only does he have glowing ears, but he also now has glowing eyes, and he has lightning coming from everywhere. So this guy is awesome. So
That's actually a pickup line I use a lot. I just walk up to girls and like, I got lightning coming from everywhere.
yes, it is.
If you know what I mean.
Also worth noting for Sean Carroll and all of our lovely fans that a Zentos Chosen will automatically transform this guy at any stage.
So
Because you have to sacrifice 2 troops to play Zentos Chosen.
yeah, so he kind of rods him into battle.
Yeah, exactly. Like he is on top of Zentos Chosen, riding Giant Spider into battle, like all
Lightning
Super
coming out of
Saiyan.
his penis. He's just like, "Ugh, I'm coming. Like,
Yes.
Sure.
So his stage 3 clearly is insane. Like pay 1, sacrifice another troop, also known as Battle Hopper, that your champion makes for you, to destroy target troop. Like
ugh.
that's insane. I really don't know what else to say about it, but it's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's also a 3/3 out of your 1-drop.
Sure. Also, Sinclair, you say paying 4 resources and 4 troops to get him sucks. You actually don't have to pay 4 resources at all.
Right, yeah, if you
because
use
it's
his
any,
effect,
it's any sacrifice.
Right.
We'll do it. And if you get him flipped, also another thing to remember too is he permanently turns into this. So if you have any reanimator effects or anything to get him back, he will continue to be on his final form, which is very strong. Like if you can play his effect a couple times, I don't see how you lose. Like to me, that it's just, and it's like instant speed too. Like so you can, even as they kill him.
Yeah, it's instant speed. This is just this is a card that is like right down my alley. Like can use his effect at instant speed. You can trigger him like various ways to from sacrificing troops. It's instant because it doesn't say otherwise. Like effects like this are always just instant speed. Things that say like basic, then it would be kind of sorcery speed. But effects like this are always sorcery, or always instant rather.
Yeah. So a couple questions. One of them is why not sandbag him and just transfer him all in one turn?
Sure. I mean that's an option. That won't get the most value out of them because you might have to do that later in the game. But that is something that you could do. If you draw him late game, you could play him and then just do like a bunch of sacrifice effects and like whatever. But cards like you're going to be playing cards like runs up the litter, that just make a lot of battle hoppers. So it's not going to be hard to get troops out there to sacrifice. So
yeah, he's actually not even that bad in like a control-y type of strategy either. There's actually the ability with like Wretched Brood or something to get him up to the stage and be able to like ping off their creatures or something. I don't know. Like he's not just an aggro card, which obviously that's what he's the best at. But he's a very interesting card. I like cards like this that let you think. Like you can easily build a deck around him, and I think that's so cool about him. I think he's probably the best preview card that we've seen so far. I like him better than I don't know. I might like Gearsmith a little bit better, but I think these are two.
like Gearsmith and this card I think are two of the better ones. Like this guy, he's really subtle, like how good he is. It's not really obvious, but you really have to think about the Shinhair tribe and like how they work to really get an idea of like how good this guy can possibly be. But also if they're killing this guy with a murder or a burn, like that takes a lot of heat off of your lord, your a bucktooth guy. So that's something to think about too.
Draws the attention away from the Zentos Chosen.
I like it. Take out the bunny as he's coming at you unblockable, son. I like the card. I think it's neat. I think it's really cool. Definitely one of my favorite cards so far.
It makes me want to play Shinhair. I definitely want to try it out now.
I will say that, Sean, good call. I think it is definitely something that Shinhair needed because I think they were a little lacking, and I think this card's for sure
Definitely.
something
Yeah, they really wanted a better one drop. Like I know some guy was kind of giving me crap about it in my article. Like, why am I playing O1 Rage Bunny? Well, the reason for that was because there's just no other guys to play. But now that we have this guy, we don't have to play the O1 Rage Bunny, and we can go a little bit more like blood based and play cards like Hop Hero and the Blood Cauldron, Ritualist, as well as Blood Bearer, and just a few other guys that are pretty solid.
Yeah, I know that you were talking. Even in your article, you were talking about how you wish there were better one drops for Chimera. So
Yeah.
like it, love it. So before we close out, guys, we're getting ready to shut down the stream. So I'm going to go through asking them what their 3 favorite cards are before Alpha's released. So if you guys have any questions at all, feel free to ask them now, and then we'll get to them before we close out. So starting with you, John, what are your top 3 favorite cards going into Alpha?
Okay, so for one, there's Gearsmith. He's definitely one of my favorite cards previewed so far, and one of the first decks that I'll be building will be the artifact deck. I feel like the artifact deck really has like an affinity feel to it, like Arcbound Ravager, like Brokenness. But a lot of the artifacts key off of other artifacts, that key off of other dwarves, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, which kind of makes like an affinity deck. So there's definitely that. I'm just trying to go through the card list real quick here to point out some of my favorites. Let's see. Battle Beetle is certainly up there as well. I think he is a centerpiece for the green mid-range decks, which there'll be plenty of. But he's certainly a staple for that deck. Let's see. Time Ripple is a card that I'm really excited to play with.
Sure. Just that whole Sapphire deck. I'm really
the whole Sapphire deck. Buccaneer, Time Ripple, like even Ancestors Chosen. I feel like that that card's gonna see quite a bit of play as well.
I tell you, this game does have a lot of good one drops in it. There's almost all the one drops I've seen have been pretty powerful.
Yeah. There's. I'm sure there's more cards like Vampire King. I'm curious to really play around with and see if I can get him to be pretty good in the right deck. Righteous Paladin I like quite a bit. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of cards I'm pretty excited about, and I'll probably have a dozen different decks to play on day one, and
sure.
Mess around with them.
Sean.
Well, I gotta go with Booty Dancer there. Just triples until it's chosen. So I'm kind of want to play with.
That's your 3 favorite?
That is. I would say Ragefire is definitely one card I really want to play with. I think that card can easily give you free wins just by itself. But I really wanted to try a mono, like an aggressive red deck with that. Murder and Extinction, kind of like the mono black control. That shell is something I'm really excited for. I really want to try that out. And then Volcanon. Like I said, I also like the artifact deck, and Volcanon just seems to be a really sweet card to play with.
Yeah, even at Gen Con, that was a fun deck to play. It was a little slow to go through all the triggers, but the deck itself was a lot of fun.
Oh, definitely.
I know you showed me that one game with that deck. You just
playing that deck at Gen Con, I probably played it in 5 games, and in 4 of the 5 I played a turn 4 Volcanon, and let me tell you how those games weren't close.
No, I mean it's very powerful.
Volcanon is absolutely insane. So
I'm trying to see. Wait, I think we have one question. You can have back with the Samurai. You can have 1 copy of him in each of his forms. I'm sorry, I missed that a long time ago.
Maybe that's not confirmed, but that's
not confirmed.
No, that could be assumed. But he does have the same name Hop Hero, but I don't know if those count as different cards.
Well, in my opinion, you wouldn't be able to. I would think that you wouldn't be able to have them, but I don't know.
One way to find out.
Yep. See you Tuesday or whenever. So my 3 favorite cards are Buccaneer for sure. That's Buccaneer and Thunderbird are the 2 I'm the most excited about. And Zombie Plague is my favorite flavor. I think there might be a deck there. There could be something cool you could do with it. It looks kind of powerful. That I would like to play with. So those are my 3 cards that I'm super pumped to play with. I'll be just grinding out the tempo deck, trying to figure out a good build for it, because that's just. I think all those cards are so cool. I think it's those cards. I mean, even like Dan was saying how he thinks that those cards are the closest to being overpowered too. So I think that those effects are just very powerful. So, hey guys, any more questions for us before we get out of here?
So I do want to say, while they're thinking about questions, that I made a Facebook and a Twitter post yesterday about the number of Facebook likes we have, and Twitter followers, and YouTube subscribers, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Also, the number of web page hits that we've had since we've opened are like well into the thousands, and there's even the hundreds of thousands, which is just insane to me to even think about. And we do always want to thank you guys for following us. If you haven't yet liked us on Facebook, followed us on Twitter, subscribe to us on YouTube, please do. We have giveaways all the time, and the only way to win like anything at all from us is by following us on social media, and keeping up with everything. Also by watching our streams. We always like to do giveaways. So this weekend I'm going to do a giveaway. I'll post the winners on Facebook as well as our website, but we're going to have 3 winners for 3 mercenaries from Gen Con, and I'm just going to put all the Facebook followers, Twitter followers, and YouTube subscribers into one random.org, and just pick 3 winners. So if you like all 3 of them, you'll have 3 chances to win. So again, that's all I really want to say. You guys are awesome, and like I was saying, we're only gone at about 60% right now, if that. We don't even have the actual game to play. So once we can actually get into the game, it'll be pretty awesome, the things that we have planned. So.
Yeah, I mean, like just to kind of go off a little bit what John said, I like to always thank you guys. I know with my stream in particular, you guys have been awesome. Every time I stream, there's always like at least 5 or 6 of you guys that show up, say hi, say thanks. I think I have up to 100 some followers now, which might not seem like a lot for a lot of people, but every one of those guys, every time my email ring, pings or whatever, and I see that someone new's followed me, like it really means a lot. And like I know going to Gen Con and having you guys walk up to us and talk to us just really opened my eyes to how much you guys actually care. I have no idea how many website we hit, so that's all on John's side. So to hear there's like over 100,000 some views or whatever is unbelievable to us. Like thank you so much. Like I hope that eventually we can keep bringing you guys content and just keep growing as the game does. Because like John said, we are very limited right now. There's not much. Like he said, we don't have a game to play, and yet we still have over 100,000 hits. That's surreal. So thank you all so much.
Yeah, and for those asking about my Twitch schedule, currently, like at least for most of October, it'll be pretty sporadic. Here and there. I'm pretty busy in October as far as my schedule goes, with my girlfriend and a few other things going on. We have most of our weekends are booked for that.
Oh, let's go up here. Oh, my girlfriend.
But once, let's see. But as far as next week goes, though, the game comes out Tuesday. Hopefully, we get into the first day. We're trying, and.
It is Tuesday.
Yeah, both Dusty and I assume will stream. He'll probably start earlier in the day, but after I get off work at 6 on Tuesday, I'll try to load up my stream, and I'll stream from probably 6 to at least midnight. So, but just look for that. I will post it on Facebook and Twitter, and even the website what our stream schedules are going to be like once the game comes out.
Yeah, so also going forward too, once Alpha comes out, I'm going to start doing Shaggy TV episodes Monday through Thursday. So I'm going to try to start those at probably 10 o'clock. So from Monday through Thursday, I'll have a different day. I'll do something different. It's like Mondays might be like a deck tech. Tuesdays might be like draft, or what I mean. Like we'll go. I'll figure that as we go along what you guys want to see. But I'm going to start doing that. Once I have the game, I can start doing daily content, which is what I wanted to do from the start of it. Also, me and Tata and Sean and whoever we can get to do it with us, we'll be doing a similar thing that we did today, but we'll be doing it for each caller. So each week, that's probably what, like, once we get the game, that's probably will be like our next like 5 or 6 episodes of HexTCG Procast. We'll just do a set review. So that's something else going forward. Also, John's stream will be coming live. I think, Sean, you're going to start streaming too, right?
Yeah. I think I was going to do a lot more like actual just video articles for the website. Just posting videos of like drafts I do, like constructed games, pet decks, just different things like that. But posting a lot of articles to the website.
Yeah, sure. And like I know another thing me and John talked about doing too was doing like a playtest video where me and him will take 2 of your guys' decks, and I'll play one, and John will play one, and then we'll play each other, and then kind of talk about how we would change the decks, or if they're good enough, we'll distill them and say we made them.
Yeah, I have a few decks right now in my inbox from private messages on the Cryptozoic forums, as well as some emails to our HexTCGPro@gmail.com inbox from where people have sent us decks. So probably next week, we'll start putting those together and start battling them. We'll talk about them.
Yeah, I know. And also, Shad sent me this really cool deck builder manager thing that I'm not sure if he wants me to show it yet. I didn't get a chance to ask him, so I didn't want to talk about it yet. But after I talk to him, I want to show that to you guys as well. It's like it's like an Excel spreadsheet type of thing that's really cool. It helps you decide. It's fine. No, I don't want to I'm gonna wait till you're done. I know it's like still in alpha or whatever, but it's really cool. So hopefully we can show that to you guys as well.
I think one of my constructed decks, the first one's going to be a Zintel's Chosen deck. I will post videos of
just crushing
constructed tournaments with that.
Sure.
Yeah, see, one of my favorite article series is on Star City Games is the Versus series, and what I mean by that is that they have two pros that do a video article, like a best of 5 series with 2 decks, and I love watching them.
What we should do?
I get a lot of insight on it.
Is we should do that, but play on each of our streams, but talk.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I was thinking more along the line of just doing like local recording and put it on YouTube.
What a pussy! I don't know if you know it's 2013.
We
bro.
could stream it, I guess.
That would be so cool.
I didn't want to embarrass you though. I want you to edit it out so you can actually get wins.
Oh, what? Oh, here we go. It's liberating up. That's it. I'm gonna go in training mode.
Let me show you what happens when the pro card gamer plays against the pro video gamer.
The answer is
see
the
what
pro
happens.
Video gamer destroys you. That shit takes more skill than drawing your little cardboard cards and acting all pretty. I have to put in work and skill to win my games. Vitical. We need more Viticals.
More Viticals.
Yeah, so maybe we could do that. I think that'd be a lot of fun. I think it would be a lot of fun because it would promote your stream a lot and help you get viewers that you are lacking because you suck. So I think that would be very good for you if we did that. The more I shit on you, my viewers might go over to your stream and try to offer you moral support. So I think that'd be good for John to have that going forward. So Vitical number 1. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much. Anything else to add, Sean, John? Nothing? Now you want to talk? Cool. John's upset that I'm going to destroy him.
Stream viewer count equal measure of manliness. Well, guess I'll have to show him what's up there. My stream here, let me type it in chat here. It is HTP_JTAG. And that's, of course, Twitch TV.
Yeah, also, let me flip this over here. Yeah, if you guys go down here, also, I have everyone's stream right here. I have Dusty's stream and John's stream. I still don't have fucking Charles' stream up here. I'm so sorry. I'm just going to do it right now. Like, after this video, I'm going to do it. So I have their streams here. If Sean gets a stream, I'll put it there as well. Yeah. So you guys can check that out. Also, for all the YouTube viewers, there's their streams. And my stream is twitch.tv/ShaggyTV. You guys can come check it out. You're a failure, Shaggy. I'm so sorry, Booty. I always let you guys down.
Charles will never actually have a link on this.
Yeah, Charles. I need to just never do it, actually, just to keep. But also, I want to thank all the other fan sites for the preview cards. We wouldn't have that many cool cards to talk about if it wasn't for all the awesome fan sites that are out there right now. So, guys, thank you so much. Please check them out too. I mean, they all have some really good content. So, yeah, we are too. I'm not sure if we're going to get in day 1. I know me and John has both been trying to get in, and I'm not sure exactly how that's going to work. But if one of us do, hopefully we can do a little bit of streaming or maybe share the account so we both get to play. Like he said, I'll play in the day and you can play at night. You know, whatever we can do, we'll try to get out content as soon as we can. So.
I really hope I can get in though, because I'm not really doing anything in my days right now. So.
Damn you, government.
Obama.
I mean,
all right, guys. Well, thank you so much for watching, everyone. You guys are all rock stars. Next week should be awesome. Hopefully we can bring out tons of content for you guys next week. So I know Charles for sure is going to get in. Like, he is guaranteed to get in. So maybe
there's hopefully, we'll see what they do. I'd like to get in first day so we can get some content out for everyone and kind of promote the game. I hope that they see that and will kind of give the fan sites maybe first day access. But if they don't want to do that, then that's perfectly understandable. And if they just want to go by like the tiers, then that's fine too. So.
Yeah. I'm sure they're probably not going to spread it off too long. I wouldn't imagine. I don't think it's going to go like weeks or months or anything. I think it'll be. I'm sorry. I don't know anything about government at all. I just said Obama because it's the only thing I know that's government at all right now.
Yeah, Dusty was trolling.
Yeah, I actually don't know anything about government.
I could actually talk about this for hours, but I'm not. So.
Well, I'm gonna go play something else while he talks about fucking government shit. You are the best transition from laughing to poker face I've ever seen. What was talking about? I'm offensive. That's a very offensive thing. Let's see. There's one more question I saw up here somewhere, but I can't seem to find it now. We'll start our own hex with blackjack and hookers.
Yep.
God, I get shit on.
best kind of hex.
I think that's another thing I would shit on John on too. Blackjack and hookers. Like, clearly I have. Like, I don't know if you guys have seen the Shag Cubus. Let me just show you this, guys. But hookers cannot resist that, dude. It's the wings. It gets them every time. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next week for episode 1 of HexTCGPro. Who knows what we'll talk about? I don't know what we're going to do, but we'll figure out something.
Hopefully we'll show gameplay.
Yeah, we'll for sure show gameplay. It'll be something in game. We'll probably start doing our set review. Is what I would imagine we'll do.
Yeah.
So if we can get into the game for sure, at least enough to do the set review, what we'll do is we'll just have a Facebook poll or something and see what caller you guys want us to talk about first. So.
Shotgun blood.
Shotgun blood, dude. Blood's my favorite. So, all right, guys. All right, John and Sean, check them out. Twitch, check me out. Twitch, check out our YouTube, check out our Facebook. Guys, thank you so much for watching. You're all rock stars. Love you.